Okay, so here we go. Listen 5-5, and hopefully this will take here. So this example, well, it's really not an example. This first question here is kind of confusing, and they have another one like it a little bit later on. And I actually have one similar to this one in the quiz. I think it was this one, maybe it was another one. So Miss Robinson, it says the recycling club has $294 to purchase one set of recycling bins for each of the 14 members. Each of the sets of bins will be identical to the others and cost the same amount. What is the greatest amount they can spend on one set of bins? It says use objects or draw pictures to help solve the problem. You don't have to do that, but you can if you want. It says explain how you found your answer. Well, most obvious would be 294 divided by 14. You'd probably get your answer. But, right off the bat, if each bin was $10 and there was 14 bins, how much would that be? $10 times 14, that would be 140. So we know it's going to be at least $10 a bin, but we can go ahead and just do the division here. So 294 divided by 14, and I'll let you guys figure that out. Down below here it says, why can you use division to answer this question? Oh, let's see here. What did I put for the other class here? I said, I think I had them answer that one. I'm looking real quick. Maybe I didn't have them answer that one. Thought I did. Oh, why can you use, I did answer it, but why can you use division to answer this question? Well, let me see a show of hands here. I won't pull a stick this time. Can anybody give me a verbal response to this? Why can you use division to answer this question? Yeah, TM, what do you think?
14 goes into 29.
Right. Well, you're talking about what we actually did, or some of you did. Maybe you haven't done it yet. 294. But that's not quite what they're asking. Yeah, Miss Beckler, what do you think?
Because it can get you the answer quicker.
Yeah, true. Well, let's see here. Let me help you out here. It will give you the cost of each, what do they call it, bin. Each bin. Okay? These recycling bins. It will give you the cost of each recycling bin, simply dividing 14 into 294. Okay? Next page. We're on 198 now. And it says, orchard workers have 258 grapefruit seedlings to plant in 12 equal rows. How many seedlings will be in each row? And so they do an estimate here first, and then they actually do the problem a little bit further down here. And you can see that the answer's 21, because what are we doing here? We're dividing 258 by 12. And so when they do that, you can see that you get a what? Remainder. Okay, and the remainder is 6. And then down below here, and please convince me, it says, what does the remainder mean in the problem above? Well, you can even see what they say here. Plants left over. The remainder means there are 6 plants left over. Let me move that up so you guys can see that a little bit better. That's what the remainder means. And I think there's 1 or 2 other problems later on that will kind of ask you something like that. There'll be a remainder, and they'll say, well, what does that remainder mean? Okay. All right, guided practice. Page 199. If the orchard has 200 seedlings and 12 are planted in each row, how many rows will be filled? Well, 200 divided by 12, and you will have your answer. Then it says draw place value blocks to show your answer. You don't need to do that. Okay. Then in problem 2 here, it says, what does the remainder represent? Well, we just did something very similar to that. And I suppose we'll actually have to do this one, and we'll do it right now. We'll do it together. 12 goes into 20 once. What's left over? 8. Bring down the 0. 12 goes into 80 how many times?
5.
How many? I heard somebody say it. 5 times. Is it 5?
6. No, it's not 5. It's 6.
6 times. Okay. Shh. So I could do 12. Let's double check this. Times 6. That's 12. Carry the 1. 6 times 1 is 6 plus 1 is 7. That's 72. I'm running out of room here. They don't give you much room to work. So 72. Now remember, when we're dividing, we want to get as close as we can without going over. If I added another 12, it'd be 84. That's too big. So it's 72. What's left over? 8. Okay? And so we're done. So it's 16, remainder 8. And then the question they ask is, what does the remainder 8 represent? 8. Whoops. Means there are 8 seedlings left over. Yeah, not seedlings, seedlings. Okay. All right. So if you are ever presented with a math question like this, and then one of the final questions are, what does the remainders mean? You can answer that. So put a line through 3, put a line through 4. I'm not worried about those. Good for you. All right, 5, 6, 7, same thing. These are just more division problems with fun little boxes. We're not going to bother with those. All right. Now, like yesterday, some of these problems have remainders. And I'm going to let you know. Number 10, circle that, has a remainder. Number 12 has a remainder, and 13 has a remainder. My voice cracked again. All right. So these 3 have remainders. So if you don't come up with a remainder, you've made a mistake. And these 3 here, Mr. Smith, do not have remainders, and if you come up with a remainder, you've made a mistake. Next page. Excuse you. That was loud. Probably not loud enough to hear on the recording, though. All right. Next page, we're on page 200. Rita's family is moving from Grand Junction to Dallas. Well, which one is that one? Looks like it's the first one, so I'm just going to put a little mark right there. This is what we're talking about here, Grand Junction to Dallas. It says the moving van averages 60 miles per hour. About how many hours does it take the van to reach Dallas? Explain your work. Okay, well, how many miles is it?
980.
980. What do you think it'd be divided by? 60. Okay. So it says about. If it doesn't go in evenly, that's okay. You don't even need to worry about the remainder, because they're not looking for a exact answer. It says about. Number 15, due to construction delays on the trip from Little Rock to Chicago, a van driver averaged 48 miles an hour. Well, you guys know what construction delays are. You've all been on a road where you had to stop and wait on the highway because they're doing work. Well, apparently that's what happened here. So doesn't have the same high average speed. So then it says from Little Rock to Chicago. Where's that one? Little Rock to this one here. And so how far is it? 660 divided by what? 48. Okay. Remember, we're talking about miles here. So put your answer and then miles. And then put your answer and miles. Okay? Make sure you nail it. I think I forgot to do that in the other video the other day. So tomorrow when we're grading these, if they don't have the word miles, it's going to be wrong. All right, 16, 17. Let's see here. A scientist needs 72 milliliters of distilled water for each of 15 experiments. For each one, this much water. She has a bottle that has 975 milliliters of distilled water. Is there enough water in the bottle for all 15 experiments? Well, think about it this way. If there was one experiment, I'm going to pull a stick for this question. Miss Maldonado is not here. Mr. Wilson, if there was one experiment, how much water would this scientist need? If there was only one experiment.
72 milliliters.
Yeah, good. One experiment needs 72 milliliters. If there was two experiments, it's twice that. Three times that. But it's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 experiments. It's 15 experiments. So this particular answer does not require division. It's going to be 72 times 15. Okay? And then you're going to see if whatever your answer is, how it compares to 975, because that's how much total water this scientist has. If your answer is larger than 975, then this scientist needs to walk outside, turn on the faucet, and get some more water. Oh wait, of course it's distilled water, and you can buy that at the store. So they'd have to go to the store, maybe go to Jack in the Box along the way, have lunch, buy some more distilled water, and then come back. All right.
Then drink all of it, and then buy some more.
Right. All right. Model with math. Port Lavaca, I guess. I don't know how to pronounce that. The fishing pier is 3,200 feet long. Wow. There is one person fishing for each 10 feet of length. Write and solve an equation to find out how many people are fishing from that pier. So, what would you do? Ms. Pipkin, what do you think?
I think I would do 3,200 divided by 10.
Yeah. 3,200 divided by 10. Okay? And then you'll figure out how many people are fishing total, because there's one every 10 feet. 18. Todd made a table to show the different plans he can use to save $500. Now we don't know what kind of plans he's talking about. Maybe this is a phone plan. Maybe this is a plan with PG&E. Maybe it's a plan with some propane company. Who knows?
Yes, sir.
So then it says complete the table which plan can Todd use to save $500 in less than 16 weeks and have $20 extra? So, TM, there's several conditions in here. It has to be in 16 weeks, and they have to have $20 extra so they can go to Burger King. All right? Explain how you found your answer. So, let's see here. Plan A, amount saved $20. Number of weeks needed to make the goal, 25. Let's see here. Do the first one here, B. Anybody see what number would go here?
55.
Okay, shh. How many times, let me ask you a question here. How many times does 20 go into 500? All right, shh. 20 goes into 50 what? Twice, right? What's left over? 10 left over, right? Bring down a 0. 20 goes into 100 how many times? 5 times, so it's 25. So that's what we got. So for B, it's going to be 30 into 500. And then you'll get whatever your answer is, will go here. And then 40 into 500. And again, whatever your answer is, will go here. And I'll let you do those on your own. Number 19, the last one. It says, find an expression that produces a quotient of 9, remainder 15. And write the expression in the box. I'm assuming this is the box they're talking about here. So yeah, rectangle. Could be a long box. All right. So what you're going to have to do is each one of these until you find one that the answer, the quotient, is 9, remainder 15. Okay? So that's it. Let me end this. We kept it under 20 minutes. That's